So what are you saying about that?
Tyler Perry. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back from that commercial break. Here we are with Family Hour. Today is a Monday. I'm already thinking about Wednesday. Interesting. But of course, we are looking at the importance of career guidance. And before the break, we had an interesting discussion here. And now we want to look at some of we want to look at now the real importance of career guidance. And Canon, if I can start with you, how does this career guidance that you introduce the learner to build them, especially as you prepare them for their future journeys and paths?
Now, one of the most we've talked about interests, we've talked about abilities, but we've also shared knowing what is in the vogue. You know, massively, there's so much that we can do. When we look at Uganda, maybe in the Ugandan space, we focus in the old curriculum, it only gave us the leverage of academic excellency, right? So it is rooted in who has excelled in what. Not really focusing so much that my abilities are here. Okay, you will find a child who is well balanced. They'll do very well in sciences, they'll do very well in arts. But there they are. Some of them are confused. They say, okay, let me put my energies here. And of course, they have mommy and daddy saying you're a scientist and so on. I'll just give you my own personal example of my son who passed biology with a D2. And somebody said, why don't you go for medicine? And said, I hate biology with a passion. Actually, I just narrowly, you know, I got a D2. Because in mocks he got a past 7 and he was comfortable. And he said, I'm not going to work at that biology. Why should I? I don't like the subject. I hate it. But here he has a D2, you know, on his past slip. But like, you know, miracles still happen. One miracle happened to me, isn't it? But if you go to a parent who has always desired to have a medical doctor, they'll push them hard without appreciating their abilities. But I want to go back to the aspect of artists and scientists. Somebody was telling me the artists rule the world. I don't want to focus on that. But I would want to go to a space that speaks. Each time you do something that celebrates you, where you feel celebrated, something that speaks about your interests, something that speaks about your abilities, something that demonstrates your strengths effortlessly, you know, it ceases to be about being an artist or a scientist. I want to borrow a leaf because once you are celebrated, of course, some of us, we have strength, but we have not grown those strengths. Because when you have a strength, it should be polished to a level that it becomes a skill that even impacts other people. So I just want to say that the moment somebody has their interests and abilities well known to them, they are going to go into a space where these skills, where these abilities are polished, that it becomes a skill that can impact, that can influence. And then in the process, your esteem and confidence is built. I'll just talk about maybe film artists, like Tyler. Is Tyler what? Perry? The Madea series. Many of us enjoy those series. We love them. This is an old disciplinarian old lady, right? And she does her thing, but this is Tyler Perry demonstrating that you can have fun with this kind of character. He builds a character, and in the end, it makes him.
And he builds an empire.
Yes. Now, when Tyler Perry steps out of his character from Madea, we all want to listen to him as an inspiration speaker, as a motivator, whoever. When he stands to speak, you want to listen. You never relate to the Madea character. Oh, this is an artist. Or he's simply playing, he's a film actor, whatever. No. You look at a celebrated and accomplished person in their choice of career. So what we want to speak here is, as we are speaking about career guidance, it's the broadness of mind of how much we can do with who we are. I would want to quickly add, of course, we have so many people who are celebrating, but you get to a point when we're talking about interests, abilities, and strength, you get to a point where one thing speaks for you. Just one thing. Michael Jordan, basketball. Cristiano Ronaldo, football. Tyler Perry, Madea. You get that one thing that speaks for you, and in the end, you don't only build your relevance, but you kind of fit into your space. And that space is where you were meant to be, and that's whom you are meant to become. So I just want to speak to us as parents. Let's try to explore. Let's try to have an understanding. Let's have broadness of mind. If these are the interests of my child, how can we navigate so that at the end of the day, they feel that space and they are known for that?
I know that parents have tried to quickly, from a very early point, they take their children into piano lessons, they take them to do this, they take them to football academies, and so on and so forth. I think the parent at the time is also wading in the water, trying to discover. It is good to expose these children to all these things, but then also speak into their lives even as you expose them.
Yes.
Find out how was their day at the swimming club. Find out how was their day at the football academy. Sit with the music teacher when she comes to give them piano lessons. How much progress are they making? Do they enjoy? Do they love listening to music? Because they may just say, mommy told me to do piano. When they are finished, they don't want to have anything to do with the music. That means it is a first thing that you're trying to drive them into. Find out at an early age whether we should drop this and pick up something else. Their interests will come to light. You have to be intentional as a parent to ensure that your involvement and your support will help this child to navigate into an area of interest. But if you think, I pay money for the music teacher, I pay money to the academy, I expect that they should turn out some Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, whatever. That's not the way.
Forgetting the competition to get to the level of Cristiano Ronaldo.
And yet we live in this world which is completely full of competition. Every new day there are new competitors on the scene. In the very area that you think I am the most excellent, or my child is the most excellent. There's a child that I used to help. She would lose it if somebody got more marks than her in a class, and she'd completely get derailed. How could she get more marks than me? Because I think the parents had inculcated in her a very competitive spirit. Now, competition is good, but to a certain level. Teach the child to know that they are different. I cannot be this lady, however much I may want to. And I cannot be you. I am different, I'm special. Show them where their speciality lies. Keep them constantly looking at the changing environment and pick up how they can excel even in that changing environment, rather than competing with other people to become something else that they are not.
Okay. There's something you've just reminded me. There is someone prominent who always shares his story and says he's a surgeon by training, but he says as they were growing up, their father always told them that I want to educate a surgeon. Now all his elder siblings didn't make it to senior 6. He's the only one who made it, and now he fell into the target. So the father pushed him, and he says that on his graduation, as he was leaving the university, he told his dad, I think I've fulfilled your dream. Now let me take my own path. And I really imagine how the parent felt when now the son says, I have fulfilled your dream.
It's your
so
dream,
you've educated a surgeon, I'm here, but now let me also take my path. And he has not practiced that ever since he graduated. He's doing other things where he has even prospered. So he says, I don't even regret taking this path. And now I think it's really important for parents to sit down should we say, and reason together with their children, Mrs. Kintu?
Career guidance is a very good thing. Parents must play their role. Let's not leave it to the teachers. And if you have taken your child, because these teachers, including these
teachers,
they take a lot of time with our children. We spend very little time of the year with them. So partner with the teachers, because they see your child in the class setting more than you do. Go for these career days. Go for the open days. Find out from this teacher who sees your child more than you do, and say, where do their interests lie? How is she progressing here? What should we discard? What should we struggle to move on with? Another family that I know, 8 children, both boys and girls. Their father told them from a young age, everybody must be a doctor. Those children worked and hustled and they all became doctors. But the end of the story is not very nice. But they all became doctors like their father wanted. He wasn't able to see that because he died early and left the mother with 7 doctors. But a doctor who has no passion, a doctor who has no other interests, it didn't end well. So let's not struggle to push our children. Use the opportunities that God has given. God has given you a teacher in the classroom who knows your child and sees on a daily and works with you in the education part of developing your child academically. Work with yourself, observe, take time. You have to be present in order for that to happen.
Okay.
We cannot do it by remote. We cannot struggle to. People are using money and thinking money is enough. I pay a music teacher, they come teach my child. I get the driver to take my child to swimming school, that is enough. When you go to these swimming schools, you find so many ladies sitting there. And you wonder, these children don't have fathers. But the mothers, because they are passionate, they actually sit in and watch and cheerlead and do what? To see that the child actually makes progress. There's a parent I know, she wakes up at 4 in the morning to take her children to a 5 o'clock swimming practice. She's done it diligently, the boys are now grown. But we want the fathers to also be involved. So, me as a parent representative in this place, I want to say, parents, let's play our role. Let's not leave it to these people. Your money is not what will earn you good career guidance for your child. It requires you to observe them from a very early age, even to see what are the things that they're interested in. Look at a book they are reading. You find them reading and say, what book are you reading? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, what is it about? And then listen to them. Listen with your ears and listen with your heart, so that you're able to know, how do I guide my child in a proper manner so that they pick up their career and run with it and enjoy it until God calls them home.
Canon, we have parents who come and dictate for you and say, musomesa nze omwana wange alina kubeera lawyer, but you as a parent, you don't see it. I mean, as a teacher, you don't see it in them for the time you're with these children. But the parent insists that is what they want out of their children, so they expect you to model them into becoming that. What advice do you have for such parents? Because there are also many. Yeah,
there are very, very many. Many parents will come in and say, this is what I want my child to be. You have a discussion with them. For example, I'll give you an example. There was a child who was excelling in the art side. And then the father said, if you want me to pay school fees for you, it's if you're doing sciences. Now that the mother comes for the class day. So she came twice. And for each class day, her daughter was among the special children to see the director of studies. She felt so frustrated. She said, but my child is an intelligent girl. I said, but she's not meant for that. So she found me on the compound, and we had a discussion. So you could be interested, but you're going to pay her for 2 years, and she's going to fail because you are pushing something that is actually not there. And the mother said, but the father wants to be this. I said, yeah, the father wants her to be that. But if she's not capable of being that, what will he do? He would rather have a child doing what she's capable of doing and they excel, and then they maximize the opportunities that are available. That is why I picked that. I picked that notion that why not? If she's going to be an entrepreneur and that's what she's capable of doing, let her build a hospital and employ doctors. So that when she's in the medical space, she's get the father. She'll wear a white coat and she'll move around because this is her hospital. When she has the leverage to move around and inspect on what the doctors are doing, isn't it? If that's what brings satisfaction, let me tell you, that day the lady's eyes brightened. He said, "You mean it is possible?" I said, "Why not? Not all school owners are teachers, right? So it means that not all hospital owners are doctors, but they've put it up and they have allowed those people who are specialized in that practice to come and work for them." She goes home, shares with the dad. Do you know that it's possible to put up a hospital? And then she can be able to inspect. And then she told the father, just imagine her in a white coat, not a real doctor, but managing doctors. They came back to school and said, it is okay. Let her do the combination she can do as long as she can. So there are moments when you're like, just get insight of what is available. Some of us push our children too hard because we don't know how to maximize the opportunities that we have. So that's one thing that parents should learn. Let's broaden our mind.
Maximizing the opportunities that they have. What opportunities are available.
Exactly.
Because they may have these 5, but there may be 20 available and we're just not looking.
We're just not looking there. So it is very, very important as we're giving career guidance. Of course, at the end of that day, we want something that will bring satisfaction. You know? We want something that will make us feel celebrated. Let's continue to navigate the space of what is available so that we can be able, like we've talked, maximizing the opportunities. But also at the end of the day, looking at the future challenges, because I could want them to be a doctor, maybe to inject and diagnose, but there are so many things in the medical fraternity that a child can do, or in the engineering or whatever. So for me, it is important that as parents, as teachers, let's give as much information that at the end of the day, people make informed decisions.
Mrs. Kintu, I look at a parent who has not given themselves time to explore the available priorities. And to them, probably they went through the same cycle. They were forced into something they didn't want, but later they dropped the profession and moved on with other things. But now, somehow, they are doing the same to their children and giving themselves as examples. So they carry their failure as an example to inspire the children positively out of the negative effects of the decisions of their parents, but still dictating that while I was forced to do this and I dropped it and I went for this, now we should also take this, because probably they see a light in that. How can parents sit down with their children and agree? Because that is also another process.
I was just thinking about the fact that me as Mrs. Kintu, I'm already living in my future. Right? I'm living in my future. I made my decisions. I was guided the way I was guided. I reached where I reached. I am where I am now. The children's future is still ahead. Now, don't block that space for them by thinking you who has already arrived at your future must be the one to direct how to get to the future. There's a way in which you can allow them the liberty to express themselves, to express their feelings, to express their thoughts. Cut them some slack. Give them an opportunity to be able to imagine the world and imagine that world with them. Because your world is old, but their world is still growing. And because it is still growing, you only need to provide a platform, a space, a forum where they can and assure them that even when you fall, I got your back. I am taking care of whatever. Let's go for it, encourage them. Rather than you insisting and sticking to that which you know. I'm sorry, it is being shallow-minded when you do that. Let's be a little broader, let's be a little more liberated, and allow the wings to spread and fly. As long as we keep them cocooned in our own thinking and mindset, there will be no growth. But if we allow growth to fully expose itself, then they can think better. So if we are mindful, we should be mindful that we are already living in our future, but that their future is still ahead of them. Let's not frustrate it. Let's not choke them.
This is, sorry, Canon, Alice. There are students that you see capability in, but they don't believe in themselves. They don't even see that in themselves. For example, you tell them you are a good, maybe a teacher or a good lawyer, but they don't see that in them. How can you help them build that esteem in them to correlate with their abilities for their career?
Now, this is one of the things that is very, very critical. Like I said earlier on, that very few of us are aware of who we are, especially when you're a little younger. But one of the things that I encourage is those things that people do effortlessly. You find this child who can do, ask them to be an MC, and it's effortless. You tell them to write something, and it's effortless.
They write beautifully.
And they write beautifully. Now, when we are in school, we have all these different programs. We have all these different clubs, co-curricular activities, and we encourage children to go in the spaces whereby they feel it excites them. We always tell the patrons, this is your moment to speak long-term professional success. This is your moment. I will give an example whereby we always have staff parties, we always have staff engagements, we always have so many things. And I would want to say, Edwin, you are here. And then one of us is a journalist. But when it comes to the lunch hour break, he comes in with his guitar. And he's playing the guitar as you're doing the worship. What does that do for you? Would you really think that it's not important to have this person or whatever? Very soon you feel like you can engage him even the more.
Yes.
You even think of, because we're talking about career and we're talking about opportunities available, then your kids, but I think so and so, we can start this program, let them manage the program. You take them out of the field and then you bring them to a space where they suit best and where there's job satisfaction.
And where they can be celebrated.
Where they can be celebrated because they have that. So when you say that somebody does not believe in them, let us encourage. You'll find a parent who will say, I don't want my child to sing, I don't want my child to be in the choir, I don't want my child to be in the football. But we're telling you that is where the navigation and exploration for long-term professional success happens. Because these are things they're doing effortlessly. So once you know that they're doing them effortlessly, for example, those who are in the debating club, many of them will look at themselves as future public speakers. And you're not going to stop them because that's who they are. When they stand to speak, when they stand to debate, then you tell them, okay, how can you use this skill? How can you use this strength? So that professionally, it elevates you. So it is important. So that is how we help students to discover who they are for the future.
Thank you so much. And before I leave, kindly give us your closing remarks so we come at once.
Now, one of the things that I would want to say when it comes for career guidance, as we are seeking career guidance from the perspective of teachers, from the perspective of parents, is to have in mind that the world is changing very, very fast.
The job market
is constantly changing. So when we understand that, then we are going to build this child to be relevant at any one time. like I was saying, let's focus on the long-term professional success as we are navigating. We are looking at these children's abilities, their strength, and so on. And I would want to say, it does not matter how subtle it may come off. It is very important. For example, if I want to encourage somebody to go into the HR department, I would encourage a great listener. Now, a child sits there and all they do is listen to the others. This one is speaking, this one is speaking. But as a leader, it's a skill that they will need. And it will be amazing. They're always leaders without a position. Each time there is conflict, she or he is the run-to person. Then you realize, okay, wait a minute. If I'm observant enough, I say, I think this child has leadership abilities. They'll carry a lot of maturity because they can choose to keep quiet and listen to others. So when we are thinking of preparing our children for the future, let's look at those things that they do effortlessly, and it will give us the leverage to have a springboard for long-term professional success.
Thank you so much, Canon Alice. Mrs. Kintu, your closing remarks and the supplement you had that I blocked.
Hey, she had a supplement, eh? And I wasn't. I never observed. Now I'm going to observe. Okay.
I want to encourage parents. It is your responsibility to unlock the potential that is within your child. And you are blessed to have the teachers to help you do that. The best in your child can be revealed when you work together with them. Don't frustrate your child. Don't ignore your child. Don't be laissez-faire about your child, because their future is still coming. Yours is already here, but theirs is still coming. So ask yourself every evening, what have I done to help unlock the potential that is within my child? Have I discovered it? Have I seen it? Have I identified it? Have I encouraged them when I've seen it? Have I talked about it? Because sometimes many of the things we don't do simply because nobody has given us a, go ahead, that was good. Nobody has given us a positive remark. So you say, those are just the best person to encourage you is your parent. So parents, let's be busy with our children. Let's not just provide for them, but be available for them. I was reading something the other day. Your child is not only interested in your presence, but it is in your presence. So be present for your child as they try to discover themselves. Hold them by the hand, and we will have a good nation of people who are well guided in their careers.
Yes, I want to say two things.
Yes.
You said let's let the parents anchor in presence,
yes,
and not presence. As we're thinking about career guidance, let's be open. And I'm going to use the acronym for open. 1, be very observant.
Yes.
2, pray for that child. 3, that is E, engage the child. Don't start tomorrow, start today. Now. So be open, be observant, pray for them, engage the child, and start now.
Now is for nurturing. You start nurturing them
now.
Thank you so much, Canon. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kintu, and thank you so much to you, viewer. We want to appreciate you because you've been with us from where we started up to now. Well, of course, we've come to the end of this program. Adrian Austin McCullers is my name. I've worked with Andrew, I've worked with Patience and Esther, and from the entire team, we wish you a blessed night.
Thank you.
Speed.